What do you do when your guitar playing hits a wall? If you have played guitar for any length of time, you've likely faced dozens if not hundreds of problems in your guitar playing. And depending on what you do in those moments will determine whether or not you will get past the plateau you're facing right now, or if you will be like most guitar players and get stuck treading water at the same basic level of playing for years, or in the worst cases, if you will simply give up playing guitar altogether. Hi, my name is Mike Filipov from PracticeGuitarNow.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about 5 important steps you need to take anytime you face a problem in your guitar playing. Now, as I mentioned, of course, you will face many different problems all throughout the course of your guitar playing, but regardless of what the problem is, there will be 5 general things that need to shape your overall process of solving those problems. And depending on how you apply those steps and whether or not you're actually aware of what these steps are, will determine how quickly and how effectively you'll be able to get to the next level in your guitar playing and keep moving forward. So in this video we'll talk about what these things are, and I'm going to show you the best ways of applying them into your playing. The first thing you need to do is you need to avoid the common temptation of trying to go out and search for dozens of new guitar playing exercises to add into your practicing. And the reason why that's not a good thing to do is because exercises in and of themselves do not help you to fix any part of your playing. All they allow you to do is to play in the same way that you already know how to play in many more different contexts, but they do not really help you to play any better. And what you need to do instead is to learn how to practice more effectively the current exercises you already have. Once you learn how to do that, then your overall guitar playing skill level will go up significantly, and at that point, once you introduce additional exercises, then you will get more out of them because your overall technique will be better and your general practice approaches will be more effective. We'll talk more about how to do all of this later in this video, but for right now, let's move on to the next point. The next step of the problem-solving process is to become very clear and specific about what exactly is causing you to have the problem that you're having in your playing. So it's not enough to simply walk around and say that your scale playing is not clean, or that you can't play faster, or your sweep picking is sloppy, because those descriptions of problems are not anywhere near specific enough to be useful for you in order to fix them. To give you a demonstration, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough the same type of practicing process that you need to be thinking about when you are training yourself to improve your own guitar playing problems. And in this example, I'm going to imagine that I'm practicing to build my guitar speed with a short scale fragment. And in a moment I'm going to play this example for you, and I'm going to intentionally play it with many flaws in my technique. And those flaws, as I will explain in just a moment, are what will prevent me from improving my speed until I'm aware of them and practice to correct them. So here's the fragment that I'm going to use this as this example, and again I'm going to be intentionally playing it with some flaws in my technique. So if you were paying attention to what I was just doing, you likely noticed that I was playing with very inefficient picking hand motions, and my pick was bouncing away from the strings after each note. And if I was playing all of my exercises in this same way, it would be impossible for me to improve my speed much faster than what I just demonstrated for you. And if all I did was to solve this problem was to find 20 more new scale sequence exercises, and I would play them all in the same exact way, my speed would still stay at the same exact level. So what you would need to do is look at each hand in detail. That means actually looking with your eyes to what each hand is doing. First looking at the fretting hand, then looking at the picking hand, and see what needs to be done, or what you think might need to be done to make your technique more effective and more efficient, and to play whatever you're trying to play better. In this case, to speed up the process, I told you exactly what the problem is immediately. The inefficient picking hand motions, because I intentionally inserted that into my playing to show you. But when you're practicing, when you don't know exactly what the problem is, then you need to spend more time thinking about what each hand is doing and finding ways to make your playing more efficient and more relaxed and more streamlined to play whatever you're playing better. And of course, since most of us likely have multiple problems in our playing, it's important to do this type of analysis for each individual problem that you have, and then focus on one problem at a time in order to fix it more effectively. So now that you know what the problem is in this particular exercise, which is the inefficient picking hand bouncing away from the strings, what you need to do is make the motion smaller. A smaller motion for a downstroke and a smaller motion for an upstroke, simply by moving the hand down and moving the hand back up. And by doing that, without adding any more exercises, you will immediately make your general playing better. So now we go from playing inefficiently like this to a much better technique of playing like this. And once you do that, you will immediately notice the difference in how everything feels easier and speed becomes much more natural. Whereas in the previous technique where the pick was moving all over the place, it was really impossible to build any kind of meaningful speed, no matter if you added 100 more new exercises. And this exact analysis can be applied to any guitar playing problem you face, not only to building speed. It can apply to any type of fretting hand problem that might be caused by a difficult chord change or by a string bend somewhere in the phrase or something else. So the point is, this approach of thinking things through and looking for the cause of the problem is not only applicable to building speed, it works everywhere in your guitar playing. Obviously, in this particular case, I was able to demonstrate to you the difference between an inefficient and sloppy way of playing and a much more effective way of playing by going back between one and the other within seconds. But when you're practicing at home, it's going to take you longer, it's going to take you several practice sessions to really reverse your technique from what you were doing before to a much better way of playing. The next step of the process is to get out a hypothetical microscope and to put the problem you're having under it. And that means to look for occurrences of the issue that you found with your technique everywhere else that you're practicing. For example, with this particular issue of the pick hand moving away after each note from the strings, you would look for that exact problem happening everywhere else in your guitar playing, not only in this particular fragment, but also look at your other scale sequences, other exercises and licks that you're playing, and wherever you notice that problem happening, you need to slow the playing down and train yourself to do the opposite. It's going to take you some time to relearn some aspect of your playing or to begin doing something differently from what you've been used to perhaps for years. But the good news is you will be able to overcome the problem by doing this step, and after several practice sessions, maybe 5, 10 or 15 practice sessions, you will start to feel a lot more used to the new way of playing, and your general guitar technique and general playing will start to feel much easier than before. And to make this process much more likely to occur, you need to follow the next step. The next step of the process is for you to be patient and persistent in applying the solution to whatever problem you have identified in your playing. So in our example, if I know that the problem that was holding me back was the inefficient picking hand motions, I now need to be patient in relearning a new and more efficient way of playing everything that I was used to playing before. And it might take me 7 days, or it might take me 2 weeks, or it might take me a month, but I know that if I stick to applying this new style of playing, everything that I have been playing and struggling with for years is now going to start to feel easier and faster and sound better. So the point is, look forward to the end result you're trying to reach as you go through the initial process of changing some aspect of your technique or learning to move your hand in a slightly different way. As you go through this process, the result will be worth it. So far in this video, we talked about some general steps to take when your guitar playing hits a wall or when you face a problem of some kind in your guitar playing. And what I want to do now is to share with you a much more specific practice approach that I've designed to tie all these steps together and allow you to take the cause of any problem that you've identified in your playing and actually fix it and become a better guitar player much more quickly and more effectively than you'll be able to do through conventional practice approaches. And you can find this video on my website. The link to it is at the bottom of this video here. You can also find a direct clickable link in the description of this video below the video player. So click on this link now and you'll be taken to this next part of the video, and I'll see you there in a few minutes.